Yeah, there you go.
So we still need some forward and back control. But it's a lot better than previous systems.
All the experience, how do you look at that? Alright, so what we really want a little advice on little advice on use of any of these weapons. We're going to be doing primarily thrusts for our first part, so I'll make sure we all get a chance to really get the feeling of how the thrusts work. Then we'll do some cuts. The most important thing for safety here is I'm going to tell a story. I tell a lot with live cutting because it was quite a shocking story when I heard it, and it was very big in most martial arts communities that use swords. At a live cutting demonstration about 3 years ago with katanas, they were cutting tatami mats. A gentleman did a cut through a tatami mat. The sword broke at the tang, but it did separate at that moment. He snapped back into guard, the blade went back and went through a guy's chest. Okay? So that's a very chilling story, but what it should tell you as an observer is to be very cautious and aware of the person who is cutting. Don't stand too close to a path where a blade might fly and be alert. Anytime that we're using sharp weapons, there is a danger, and I want you guys to be aware of that danger. There's really danger anytime we're using any type of weapon, whether it's sharpened or not. And of course, because these things are quite sharp, proper respect. Make sure you treat it very respectfully. Don't put in your toe. Don't grab the edge. Be aware when you go like this, behind you, if you've got the long sword in your hands. Don't be standing close to this person. And it's my responsibility as well to make sure that the area is safe before I bring the sword into my guard position. Okay? You will find with all of the weapons, when we're doing thrusting or cutting, good body mechanics make the action easier to perform. So I was there. This is the worst thrust I could do to this thing. I just wanted to see how easily it would go through. Okay? Because these have none of my body. It's all just what I'm doing with my arms. So when we're getting into anything, just like with the longsword as with the rapier, it all comes extending out, carrying forward with the body. Okay? With a lunge or with a pass. Okay? Same thing with the rapier. Make sure you're going through good positions. Extend out. Carry the weapon with the body. Carry it back. And you'll find it very easy to go through our meat. Alright, now to pass the weapon to the next person, when you've done your thrust, everybody will get a chance to do a few thrusts. We'll go everybody through once, and then we'll get some chance to maybe do some cutting or do some other things. Then what we'll do is, when you're going to hand the weapon to the next person, make sure as I approach, you can either, if you want to measure, if you want to get a sense of where it is, maybe just lunge past it there. Just come in, make your thrust, retract. Then, when you're going to hand to the next person, to recover, point down. I want to hand it to you. So you make sure the point is down as I hand it to him, so if it's a rapier, I'm going to keep it point down, and I can hand the weapon to him, so that he can grasp the pommel of the weapon, or grasp the pommel and guard.
A protocol that I always like is when you've got it, you say, got it.
Yeah.
That's always good, too. So Devon doesn't let go until he hears me say got it.
Okay, and now he's got the weapon in his hands, and he can arm himself with it appropriately and go ahead and do his part of things. Okay, so